If you just want a short answer, or if you replay the video after already watching it, here it is. Yes, it is very difficult to write a book. There, now you're free to go. Thank you for your time and have a great day. But if you're still here, guess you're expecting me to talk a bit more about this whole thing. Well, I was going to call it a day and go home, but if you insist, guess we're doing this now. Again. What do I mean by again? Well, watch the video till the end and you'll find out. Welcome to the Communication Couch. Thank you for tuning in, and mind you, today we actually have a very special anniversary. This right here is nothing less than already the 10th episode of the Communication Couch. Oh, they grow so fast. So, if you're one of about 7 people who regularly watch the show, thank you so much for your support, and I will keep doing my best to entertain you, hopefully make you think about things, and make you laugh. Laugh with me or at me. It's fine. It's fine. So, in case you weren't aware, I am a proud author of 2 books, none of which was particularly successful. The first one was something like a semi-romance novel based on an unreturned love period I had as a teenager. But let's not go there. And the other one is somewhat less romantic, less teary, and a more practical book, Joy of Speaking. It's a guide through developing public speaking skills for beginners that I published myself. And since I'm already mentioning it, I'm just going to be shameless enough to also let you know that you can get the book from Amazon under the link in the description down below. You won't regret it. The other one you can't get anywhere. That one is sealed off in a safe at a secure location. So you, my friend, maybe you have some itchy idea in your mind that yearns to come out, which is a fancy way of saying that maybe you want to write a book. Well then, heed the advice of this old writer and listen carefully, as I shall say this only once. Unless, of course, you watch the video twice or 3 times. Sky's the limit. Well, let me tell you what writing a book is like. What your writing process will look like depends mostly on why you're writing in the first place and what kind of a writing strategy you decide on. You could be writing a book because you explicitly want to publish it. This can mean you're writing fiction, perhaps with the ambition to become a professional author, or you might be writing factual books to establish yourself as an expert in your domain, for instance, public speaking. Or you might also be writing just for your own pleasure, as a hobby project, as a way of coming to terms with something in your life, maybe something that is troubling you. All of these intentions are perfectly valid, and writing is a great way of achieving all of them. If you're doing it with professional motivations, in my experience, having your own book brings you a whole lot of credibility. And if you're doing it for some emotional reasons, it can help you tremendously. You can relive some of your own experiences, change their outcomes or the circumstances, or live something that you never had a chance to. You can live in some other time, some other place, be someone completely else, be someone else. You have the control and you create. You can do whatever you want. This is your world that you're creating. This is why writing can be incredibly therapeutic and can help you overcome some issues and generally grow as a person. I grew a lot. I was 1.83 m when I started writing, and by the end, I grew 3 centimeters taller. But as I said, your reasons for writing can define your writing process. And by this, I mostly mean whether you write only when you're inspired or also when you're not. And there is a big difference. Let me explain it this way. When you start writing a book, it's so much fun. Your fingers are typing on their own, sentences just flowing out of you. Everything comes naturally to you as if divine providence was whispering the words into your very ear, and you can't even keep up to write it all down. This act of spontaneous, inspired, unbridled creativity is one of the most beautiful feelings I've personally experienced. After pizza. And when you're done writing, you can't wait to do it again. You go to sleep, you can't sleep, you keep thinking about it. You get ideas throughout the day, you have to write them down because they're just too precious to risk losing them. You're obsessed with this, and it's beautiful. So this goes on for some time until one day comes when you don't feel it that much anymore. Maybe you came to a point in the book or in the story where you lost your way a bit, or where it got a bit intertwingled. Is that even a word? And you're not really sure what to do next, so it becomes a bit tedious. But you're only halfway through the book, maybe not even that far. So if you're only writing for the soul, this is when you go and do some other things and you come back to the book in a few weeks, months, half a year, or never. But if you're writing with an explicit goal of finishing the book and maybe even publishing it, then this point, my brothers and sisters, is when writing becomes a torture. Because now it's not only an act of creation, but also a matter of discipline. You might go on for days or even weeks at a time of not really feeling inspired, but you have to write regardless of it if you want to finish the book. Many professional writers say that they give themselves certain norms, like writing at least a page or 1,000 words a day. Many writers also say that what helped them very much was that they subscribe to Fennel and also click that little bell icon so they get notified every time when there's a new video and they never miss a single one. Thank you. And this is the biggest challenge of writing a book. You don't have anyone to tell you what to do, when to write, how much to write. You have to structure your day so that you're productive, you're not procrastinating, but also that you're not hating your life. Now, perhaps one of the most challenging parts of writing is actually not writing, but editing. A lot of writers hate editing because after such a long time writing, you're finally done. You feel like you did a pretty good job, and when you read it again, you discover it's the worst thing you've ever seen in your life. Well, not necessarily that bad, but often some things that you found brilliant when you were writing them, what the hell were you thinking? So the whole editing part is about deleting, replacing, making little changes in a sentence to see how it sounds, how it feels. It's a much less passionate and emotional process, and it doesn't really feel like you're creating, but more like you're editing. Apparently that's why it's called that way. And then once you went over the whole book again, you're still not finished. You have to go over it at least once more because you have to see how it all reads with the changes you made. The problem is, in your next go, you will make some new changes. So you see where this is going. You can repeat this process indefinitely. So there, after a few rounds, you have to find a balance between perfection and progress, and at some point just let loose of control and decide that it's good as it is. So after a long while, after countless nights and months and days and years of struggle, there you stand with a finished book. The day you thought might never come is here. You are holding your own book in your own hands. It feels unreal. If you wrote your book with the hopes that it will be well received or to make money with it, then this is where things get very interesting. Because there is probably a sea of books on the same topic, and your book is in a way a product that has to be marketed just like anything else. But that's why you do book promotions. If you're self-publishing, you can do your own marketing or outsource it. And whenever you meet someone new, you casually mention that you're also an author of a book. But regardless of how your book performs, if you make money with it or not, having a book on your shelf that you wrote yourself, or even better, going over to visit a friend and seeing your book on their shelf, it's something that fills you with incredible pride. It's a proof that you are able to achieve things. It's a monument to your own discipline, dedication, and perseverance. Every time you hold that book, you will remember what you went through, all the days you didn't feel like writing, but you still did it because you knew that it would be worth it. And when your friends or people you meet admire you for it, when they like your book and tell you how great it is, how they loved it, maybe even read it twice, you feel such an incredible validation of your work and effort and your talent. And that's when you start thinking that all those months or years weren't that bad after all. Maybe you should go and write another one. And that's when you're in deep trouble. Why? Well, go on and watch the video again from the beginning. Thank you for watching this video, my friends. And if you're thinking of writing a book, you have my full support and I believe in you. And I officially promise, if this video motivates you to write a book and when you're finished you send me the link to your book, I will be the first one to buy it. I promise that. Well, unless it costs like $100 or something. By the way, a great way to start writing is to write a little comment down below so that way you can practice and you can really help me because comments are good for YouTube algorithms. Thank you and have a great day.